Yo, what up? We are back on the Desert Podcast. This is your boy Caesar Odriego. Big shout out to everybody that made it back. Don't forget to hit subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment under the video. Today, I'm hanging out with my brother, Eetz Blaq. What's happening, bro?
Hey, man, no, man, last man.
What's wrong with that? This nigga. Wow, man.
Man, I get really worried.
So, Eetz Blaq reporting again. How you translate?
Yeah.
Can you tell us where that name comes from?
Cipher. Yeah, so basically, every time I used to cipher, I'd black them out.
Oh.
And then, yeah, that name came about that. But basically, it was just black. Then what happened was, because of social media was just starting when I started. Yeah. So then I needed to just find a word that was going to separate me from anything else. Then I put the Eetz in the front, And then, but all Khalifa would always say, hey, my name is Blaq. And I'm like, no, that's not how it is. My name is Eetz Blaq. Yeah. I went to school, by the way, you know.
The Eetz has to be there.
Yeah, it has to be there. So that was it.
And then, can you tell us, where did you grow up?
Ramalepo, Davidson, Alexander, Tefu, Radihale. Yeah.
Can you give us the timeline? When were you in Ramalepo?
No, I'd rather not.
What the fuck?
Rather not at some point. So I got to Hawks at some point. So some information that may keep her out.
So let's do Hawks.
Yeah.
So we might be with a criminal right now. Is my equipment safe?
That's the equipment that 20,000.
Yeah. Can you open
so
that
of course, man. Yeah.
And then where did you spend most of your childhood? Trying to find out what in school or guy.
Yeah, basically Ramalepo. And then obviously Davidson got involved, got the school holidays, and then that's how you start to balance the rural life with the township side of things, and then
what kind of family setup did you grow up in? Did you have both parents? Or?
Yeah. It wasn't bad, man. It's just that because man, kids are left in the rural areas, then the parents are in the burbs.
So you
in the city. Not even, dog. I literally sort of grew up by myself.
By yourself?
Pretty much, yeah. My sister was there, but obviously because there's a 9 years gap in between, we've never managed to hang around the same spaces. So grew up in the streets, basically.
What time were you alone? Let's say in the time. How old were you?
When
you started
staying alone. Yeah. It was in the 2000s, whereby I think I was doing Ranana Rivicha 1 after sub B. What do you guys call it? It's grade R sub A sub B, then 1 when you start using a pen.
Grade 3?
No, yeah, it could be grade 3.
Standard 1.
Yeah, you would know better. You're a teacher.
Yeah, standard 1.
Better. Yeah, so since then up until
from grade 3?
Yeah.
How do they leave a child?
No. Well, I had a cousin who was a year old. What I'm saying is, at that point, obviously, my sister was going through puberty and everything else. So I'd spend weekends by myself.
Oh, shit.
Type
of vibes.
Yeah, but basically, I needed to start sweeping and cooking at that point.
And then when do you make music? When did you...
Dog, since scratch.
Scratch?
Yeah. I remember the first song I wrote.
When did you write your first song? How old were you?
Probably 6, 7.
When you wrote your first song?
Yeah.
Come on, now our Shasha.
At that age of 6, bro. I remember that song very well, dog.
And then what happens? How do you
It's simple, man. A soccer player might say, I started playing soccer when I was 3. But the honest truth is that's the time they got exposed to a soccer ball. They started kicking it at that point. You understand? It's the same with me. I think the first time I heard a song and I started attempting to write my first song, I was 7. Literally 7. Because it was more like drawing for me. I started drawing around that same age.
So you were drawing?
I still do even now. It's just that I don't think it's my favorite hobby, but I still do. Yeah.
Tell us what inspired that for you to decide, I'm going to write a song. Who did you see writing a song? How did you know?
I was listening to Maharebabu Chave.
Maharebabu Chave?
Yeah, I wrote my first sort of gospel song. Yeah.
And then hip hop, when do you meet hip hop?
The weird thing about it is that I was rapping, not even realizing I was rapping because it was Kwaito basically. So it started off with Zola, Mendoza.
Give me your top 5 favorite Kwaito artists.
Zola obviously,
Zola
Mendoza, Yomdu, your Doc Cheveleza, Mawilis. Yeah, basically those are the main guys that I can actually think of right now.
So you grew up listening to Kwaito?
Yeah, a whole lot of it, and gospel as well.
Where do you get this music? The access? Because music back then was like shit expensive.
Yeah,
you had to go buy an actual cassette or CD.
Radio was like my main source. I grew up in the Bindus. There was no electricity, so the only thing you had was that radio with one big volume, and that was it.
Yeah,
and one small frequency button. That was it. So basically, radio was everything. Bro, that was even before I knew that you can record a song on radio using a cassette.
Yeah.
Like the first radio I had didn't even play a cassette. Yeah. It was that bad.
And then now let's talk about you officially doing music. When does that start? When do you know this is something that I really like? This is something I'm going to go for. Like the conscious decision to say, I'm going to do music.
So throughout my high school, I had a group where we would go chill at some garage. Right.
Which high school is this?
Manoshi Secondary High School in Gamaleb.
In Gamaleb.
Yeah. So I had a group whereby after school we'd go to a garage, write lyrics. The girls would sing the chorus, I would rap. I didn't even think I knew what I was doing. But
are you guys recording any of this, or it's just like live stuff where you
we're not recording. Like I was saying now, I started writing. Even now, I sort of write my lyrics after recording because yeah, in most cases.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Back in the days, it was just books, no recording, and then you love this thing, then you keep doing it over and over up to a point whereby it becomes a part of you. Because there was no phone at that point whereby I could record an idea. I needed to memorize the melody.
But you had pen and paper.
Yeah, but you need to memorize the melody, right?
Yeah.
So it starts
to the flow.
Also the tempo as well.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow the song is a bit faster because now you ate. The day you wrote the song, you didn't eat. So the energy is declining on other days. So it was like that.
So then when do you officially go into studio, get a beat, and then make your actual first song? Do you remember where?
2010, I was in college doing my first year, and then there was a freestyling class. I freestyled. For some reason, 20 minutes later, I was put in a professional studio. I did my first song was done like that, professionally.
Who? Where is this college?
What was the name of that college? You know these fly-by-night colleges? So I was studying HR, and then Monk, that's a friend of mine, and then he was a friend with another guy who was already a producer by then. They had already scored a gig to produce for that particular studio because there was a studio, no producer, so there were part-time producers and also part-time full-time students. Then for some reason I started doing that. That's when I started falling in love and deeper with music.
Do you remember the first time you got on stage?
I've been on stage all my life, bro. I did drama in high school. So first time being on stage, music.
How were you doing drama? Which school is this? It was one of those LO projects. But
it started. I've always been forward. So it's primary slowly. That's why I started off with these things. Hey, man, a poem. We used to call it a poem even at that point. So,
poem.
Yeah. So it started there. Then moved to high school. It was my second nature at this point. And then I used to dance as well. So
you were a dancer? Yeah. So you've been about the mommy
bootlegs and cavellas were my thing.
Not Japanese bojo.
Yeah, obvious.
And how was the mommy game at the time?
Dog. I will not disclose.
But you were out there. You were handling, eh?
Nah, not even. My child.
You were handling, bro. You were a kid. It's not like at that time.
My child is too old. He understands these things now.
Your child.
I gotta watch my mouth.
You gotta watch your mouth. But it's natural. I mean, how old is your child?
I'm not gonna disclose that part.
Alright, then
I'm not touching on that. Yeah.
And then Eetz Blaq. When do you decide that I'm gonna have an actual brand that's gonna be Eetz Blaq, and this is what I'm gonna start following and doing music professionally?
I I think roughly after 2014, but simply because I've always been doing music part-time. Then I decided to focus on other artists while I was managing them, and they keep failing because it's a problem when you believe in the talent more than the artist itself. So it got to a point whereby I had already, at that point, I had all the necessary connections or necessary resources and knowledge. Then I think roughly 2014, 15, that's when I decided to rebrand and then start pushing a brand a certain way.
Who were you before you rebranded?
Rather not disclose.
People are trying to get your story, bro.
Nah.
To find out who this nigga was before he became.
You gotta watch
Eetz
your
Blaq.
mouth. I'm trying to watch my mouth.
Why?
Nah.
You're trying to find out those first songs
People
you did
actually
back.
listen and judge.
They judge.
Trust
But that's the old you. How are your friends gonna realize or he actually grew from this to
I'm an
to what
old
he
man at this point who knows how to watch their mouth. I'm not disclosing that much.
is? You ain't trying to tell us what your old artist's name was.
Hey man, I cannot happy if I'm not Eetz Blaq.
This nigga. You ain't trying to give us the
Judge,
juice.
dog. No, if I get to that point, it's gonna make you dig deeper, of which I'm trying to cut it there.
Well, what's wrong with digging deeper?
Bro, next question.
This nigga.
This guy.
Are you into burgers?
Burgers. No, I'm into food.
You into food?
Yeah.
Which restaurant for you makes the best burgers in South Africa?
By far, we just talking and not like your formal restaurant. And I'm not doing this for brand purposes, right? I'm not advertising anyone.
No.
Don't
Don't overthink these questions.
I'm not overthinking them. I'm just trying to watch my mouth, like I said.
Don't be too
I got in
technical.
trouble because of
Don't
these
be too
things.
technical. Don't give us the PR interviews, man. Come on.
Which burger do I prefer? I think Rocco Mama's by far.
Rocco Mama's?
Yeah, at least you get to have a chance to add what you want and remove what you want.
So you'd pick Rocco Mama's over Steers?
Yeah. And I miss those Wiki Wednesdays, dog. I probably have one or two of them there. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I'm more of a gym freak than anything else. Well, I don't look like it now, but
What about sodas? Do you drink sodas?
Yeah, I don't like much acid, but
Coke
with the burger.
Coke or Pepsi?
Dog, nothing beats Coke, bro.
Nothing beats Coke.
Nothing beats Coke.
Alright. So then you ended up creating a record label or a
DSYS, Don't Sell Your Soul.
Don't Sell Your Soul.
Yes.
How does that come about?
That comes the time when I was still believing in other artists because I needed to make things quite official. When you're looking for publishing, DSPs and everything, they need you to have a solid company, like they need you to have everything in order, especially with the name Don't Sell Your Soul, because the last thing that I want is for me to pay 100,000 for something I can get for 100 rand on the streets. So we needed to document everything in a sense that we want to be independent. So even the name needed to be something independent.
Who's we?
By then, the thing is, I don't want to sell these cats, dog.
They're not selling. It's your story, bro. They're part of your story.
Okay, these people that I used to work with, they're not working hard enough to be mentioned by me right now. I'm more of a bigger brand.
But these are niggas you was working
I'm
with.
not putting them on, bro. They'll find their way to where I am.
Alright.
Yeah, we were together by then. And then,
What happened?
it all went to shit.
What happened?
People are people.
What happened?
People are people. People, sometimes you just figure out that niggas tend to be bitches and there's nothing you can do about it. And then
Niggas be bitches.
yeah,
Alright.
It
You
is what
heard
it
it.
is.
You heard it from his mouth.
and I just don't want to mention them. They know. However they come at me, lyrically, physically, get ready for what they know.
Have you ever heard like a sensational or viral moment where if somebody sees this and then they're trying to see, where do I know that face from?
TV ads,
Which
soapies. I've worked with Nike as the main face. I've worked with Sidestep, like all these big brands. Ellesse.
How does any of those come about? Do you remember? Let's say if you would give us
that's simple.
a timeline of which was your first big brand that you worked with.
And at that time, because of fame and movement, I can't give you the right time frame, but I can paraphrase on what happened. Simply because when you consider yourself a professional artist, right?
Yeah.
You record your music professionally. You shoot your videos professionally. You shoot your photos professionally.
Yeah.
Then when you're out there pushing your music with your photos and someone decides, man, this t-shirt looks good on you. Can I put you on Ellesse? And then Ellesse likes you and then they give you an endorsement for being a model. but initially you are an artist, but the modeling gigs are coming in.
So you're telling me you got those gigs just because you're putting out clean content?
Yeah, clean content got me with my first endorsement was with Ellesse. Moved from Ellesse, I went to Sergio Tacchini. Came about Nike. Then I did Shoot for Champion, and then I did that Black Friday ad for Sidestep. Was also the face for like 6 months. What else did I do, bro?
No nepotism in there. It's not one of your friends say, Antoine,
It works like that.
Yeah.
Someone needs to put in a word in your absence. Someone needs to say, hey, oh shit, sees I can do this.
Yeah.
You need that. That's how it works, bro.
How do you get yourself in that space?
It's doing this guy a favor because he had a brand locally. So when I was pushing my music, because my music was moving locally in our area.
Which songs were you putting out at that time?
It was literally my first single. It was Majin Boo and Patele. And then, he needed to be a part of that. And I was gigging left, right, and center. So I was like, no, I can wear your brand. We can collaborate. And then only to find out this nigga actually works for these companies. And he was literally the guy who was dishing out your endorsement to Folk, your Shane Eagle at that time, AKA, these big brands. And then it was just a shortcut for me to get to that.
So last year, I want to ask you about Pedi rap.
Yeah.
So when you were making music, were you only rapping in English, or you started just rapping?
You know what's weird? The weird thing is that I used to rap in English, ne?
Yeah.
And then you and I speaking English sounds good, ne?
Yeah.
Until a white person walks in, they're like, this is not English. So I had a fucked up. Why are you asking me this shit?
I'm trying to get your story, bro.
This is what happened. I was recording, right?
Yeah.
I was actually in a session being recorded by a colored dude, like a colored producer.
And then you pronounced.
No, I wrote in my head. I wrote a sick verse, and I was like, when I get there, I'm just gonna hit here and there.
Yeah.
And this nigga, after recording the entire song, the song was fire, according to me. He's there like, you know what? I'm like, yeah. He's like, can you try writing a verse in your own mother language and let's hear it? And that's when I moved from English to Vanek. And then he said, I'm more convincing when I rap in Vanek. And then in that way, I can even form my confidence because now, remember, you know your mother tongue more than you know English, ne? So even if I were to say certain words and I cut the grammar in between, I just pick up words that don't make sense. In my own language, they tend to give out the message that I'm trying to hand out. But now, with English, you have a broader market that's going to judge your accent, your English, which is a problem. So, sharp, the market might seem a bit higher when you rap in English, but also the negatives are as high. You understand? But now I can literally argue with you what this is in my home language. You understand what I'm saying? I can tell you now, because now I actually know this shit but English, I really don't have that. It's an elbow talk. I don't.
That's all you got.
And if somebody else comes and say no, you don't say the L. It's you and I arguing about something we both don't know. So it was that. So after that, I transitioned from English to Vanek, and then for some reason the bar was too low.
The bar was
just. It's even lower now. But that's how I got about that.
Which big producers and artists have you worked with in the country, or anybody recognizable?
Here's another thing: working with a big artist or producer is subjective, right? So let's be quite specific in terms of working with these people. What are you referring to?
For you, like the actual work, which songs did you do with like an actually recognizable producer, or maybe an artist that you cooked something that was dope?
At that time, it was Ched because at that time she was hot. That time,
Ched the Don.
Yeah, that was before. Who's the kid that came after him? The white kid who passed with the dreadlocks.
Costa.
Yeah,
Teach.
that's before Costa was literally in the space. So I worked with Ched when he was almost at his peak.
Did you guys actually put the work out?
Yeah, no, it's out there.
What's the song called?
King.
Yeah. Eetz Blaq. Were you Eetz Blaq then?
Yeah,
Eetz Blaq.
yeah, now Ben. Stick to that.
All right.
So yeah. So after that, in terms of producers, I've never believed in working with people who are famous. Not that I don't have the access to or the capital to pay them. It's just that I find upcoming producers more hungry and more willing to work. We can make 9 songs with someone you didn't pay, but if you were to pay someone 5K for one song, they always act like they're doing you a favor. So I always, after actually having to work with Chad and being exposed to other people I don't want to mention, I feel like it's much easier to pick up an artist that's upcoming to work with. In that way, you don't have like limitless of what you guys can achieve and what you guys can do in the actual space instead of having to go to SABC now. If I were to go to SABC now, they might start giving me terms and conditions of what needs to be done. But basically, if I were to work with someone like you who knows where they want to go with their thing, there's so much space for us to grow. And so SABC already feels like I will give you 1 million views that you didn't even work hard for. So for some reason, having to be exposed to these celebrities and these big brands made me realize, it's definitely not worth it, bro.
Current state of hip hop in South Africa, you got anything you would like to say about that?
My own opinion. I always get in trouble because of this thing.
Let's get in trouble, dog.
Out of 10, should I rate it or should I say it in facts?
Give us both. You can rate it and say it in facts.
Out of 10, 0.1.
0.1. South African hip hop right now.
Yeah.
Why?
Sharp.
Right now, dog.
Sharp. Which song, Yellow Rinka hip hop right now, you'd say bangs every club against other genres?
But does that mean?
No. Answer me.
I'm
okay.
This question I'm asking you is gonna drive. So, does the song "Banging in the Club" say anything about the current state of hip hop?
It actually does, bro.
What does it say?
It's more like, okay, let's take it back to fashion. You and I tap into that a bit, ne?
Yeah.
There's always that one particular thing, you know, whether or the nigga or the bourgeois or like it will always be that one thing that stands out. Or okay, sharp. This is the in thing, whether you like it or not.
Bucket heads are in now. Everybody's rocking bucket heads.
For ladies, it is Steve Madden, right?
Yeah.
Whether you like them or not, they are there in the streets.
Yeah.
We are reggae or are we reggae? You listen to gospel or not? Steve Maddens are there. All the other everyone can tell. This is like a recent thing. It's like a popular brand right now, ne?
Yeah.
Do we have that type of song that you can say about that in terms of hip hop in South Africa right now?
Actually, the thing is, I haven't went outside in a while, so I don't.
That's
know,
what I'm saying. But
I don't know what's happening in the clubs.
the honest truth is that hip hop in South Africa currently is not banging.
Kindly Nash, they're not being
I
banned.
don't even know who's that. Is that a song?
Nah, Kindly Nash is as an artist, bro. He's got one of the, I would say, biggest song in the country, hip hop song. What is that song? I forgot the name.
You
of the
even
song.
forget the song.
I mean, Casper's Wash Karamaima right now. It's like one of the biggest songs in the country.
It's subjective, right?
It's subjective.
It's a big song on TikTok, right? But it's here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing with me. Ne?
Yeah.
There's media big song. There's actual big
Does
songs.
it translate to the actual?
Okay, because the thing with me, if a song is big, ne, you will not miss it even go shop right. Like if it's big, you'll see it on TikTok. You'll hear it more texting over randomly, and nigga in the streets would probably bump via fita motilengako and I randomly. So you're in the gym, it's there. Yeah, one shit is big.
Yeah.
Because everyone will be like, hey, Tweka, that's big. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have a hip hop song that's as big currently.
Yeah.
Because a song normally changes the lingo, a song normally changes the lifestyle. The song, one or the other influence has something on the streets. We currently don't have that, dog.
When was the last time we had a hit in hip hop?
Man, when Forbes was still alive, dog.
Yeah.
Company, I think, was the
and it didn't even reach what it was supposed to.
Yeah, because had he lived long enough, he was gonna get to
it.
It
was massive.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. If we really don't have it, Joe. Even in terms of superstardom under hip hop, we really don't have it to that point.
So that we don't have a hip hop superstar right now.
It's your Usimamani, but yeah.
But there's a but in there.
No, but honestly, it's subjective. Like I said, it's one of those things whereby we can argue about it. Yeah. We are sitting in this room right now. I bet if I were to check everyone's Spotify or whatever platform they used to play with, Usmaman is not on the recent plays.
Is that true?
Facts.
Shit.
Like when an artist is popping, dog, they are popping. They are there. They are there. You understand?
Yeah.
And if it's not happening, it's not happening. Because some of these guys, they're just well funded by the record labels. They're well connected because maybe when you dig down into these kids, you actually find out, man, Lady Do's mother is a premier kai. Then you figure out, no, they're well funded, dog. They're just in the right spaces and the right opportunities. And you know, rich kids have always been lucky, dog. And unfortunately, but give her. They're always in spaces where you are not. And then why wouldn't you do someone who's rich a favor because you're also trying to get something out of it? But right now, it's no longer about talent, boy. Like when you check these guys, their cousin get executive, you go Sony, dog. And then they are putting them on. Then there's nothing you can do.
Top 5 favorite hip hop artists locally for Black.
Oh, it's not a joke.
No, it's not. Dead or alive, like generational. Doesn't have to be most recently. Like, because we're trying
The
to
thing
figure
with
out.
me, the thing, top 5, I feel like it's gonna be too small because obviously,
You know what we'll do?
yeah.
We'll have 10 spots,
Yeah.
and then the first 5 will be the guys that I actually like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because some of the other guys are quite famous, and when I don't say their name and they come across this,
Yeah, so you
Some of them send me a text, man.
That's how you feel. But
Yeah.
fuck them, dog. This is your reality. Give us your top 5.
Pro, definitely. Because obviously,
Chick.
yeah. Double HP. My all-time favorite, man. KO.
KO.
Definitely Questa.
Costa.
Forbes.
AKA is number 5.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Then let's go to the other hand.
Because I'm supposed to say 10.
Yeah, you said the 5 won't be enough. So we're trying to find out who.
No. Let's keep it at that.
Let's keep it at 5.
Yeah, let's keep it at that.
Who do you think played like the biggest role in your career, like in terms of influence, your style, the way you dress, and everything in music?
Shit, 2 different things. Style in terms of how I make music would be Vic Mesh. There's a reason why I didn't count him in the top 5. Like we were talking in South Africa.
Yeah.
Vic Mesh never reached that peak, but if you go check him out, really dope dude.
Pedi to the world.
Yeah, super dope dude.
Yeah.
Fashion dog. Shit.
So Vic Mesh is the only one that kind of influenced what your sound has been.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fashion.
Never. I was trying to think. Sorry, I was trying to think. Or have I ever wanted to sound like anyone more laughing more than Vic Mesh? Nah.
Alright, that's very dope.
Yeah, no. It doesn't get better than that dude, bro. Fashion. I don't know, man. I don't remember trying to look like anyone. I just always dressed the way you feel and worry. Not to go to
But who did you like? Who do you think was killing it when it comes to their look and the way they move in the game and everything?
This guy in the mirror, man. Myself, bro.
Yourself.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. Like, sure, I don't remember being on the mirror thinking, worry.
I'd want to rock some ice creams
Yeah,
and look like
because
Pharrell.
Nah.
You've never been a fan of babes and ice creams?
I was, but initially it wasn't because I saw them come on, man. I probably never even I was a fan, never owned a pair because sometimes you like things and they don't like how you look when you're inside them. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The thing with me, with clothes, it has always been a matter of, am I going to look good in this thing? Do I like how this combination work for me?
It's never about what's trendy and what's cool, ne?
I can always make sure that I tap into that, ne? Because sometimes the last thing that you want is to find yourself got a skinny jean when people are wearing loose jeans now. But I have never had one person who I said, yeah, I won't caparala blinded, man. Nah, I think it's a funny way of looking at dudes as well. Like that nigga looks handsome in that thing. I want to look like him. Nah, it's weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
So then, what can we expect from Blaq? I mean, it's a first quarter of 2025. It's a new year. Well, what have you been cooking?
The honest truth right now is that I'm dropping an album simply because I'm trying to get rid of the music that I recorded in the past.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
Trying to clear the hard drive.
Pedi said I shouldn't speak like this about music. But the honest truth is that I don't think I feel the same way I felt about music.
What changed?
I think growth and realizing that also how I perceive growth in terms of what music is now compared to what it was when I started.
Can you give us like a breakdown of what that looks like?
Back in the days, music used to be a thing because when you make it, you actually have the talent. take it back to Yvonne Chaka Chaka, You're Lucky Dube, like, you know, people at that time and era of which I'm not saying that's the time I grew up in, but that's what I was exposed to. That's what I admired when I was growing up. At that point, you needed to have actual talent. No, dog, you need TikTok numbers, you're fine. Even Skomota has a song. So I don't want to compete in that space. You understand? Because also I feel like my pen game when it comes to lyricism, I'm not saying that I'm the best, but I'm just saying my delivery can be a bit complex if the IQ is too low. So now I don't want to be on TikTok explaining a metaphor, a punchline, or how my first verse is connected to the next one. Because now I thought you might as well record your Hosh Karamayam. I'm not going to compete with that, man. It's no pun intended, but intended. Because honestly speaking, dog, I feel like the space now it's
weird.
It's too weird, bro. Space. Like if I really want my song to trend, I might as well pierce my nipples while I'm recording. Then that shit is gonna work. This type of shit you need to do. I'm too serious for that shit, dog.
What's your favorite Eetz Blaq song?
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
There's no way, because every song was recorded in different spaces and times, and they have.
So you don't even have like favorites, personal favorites?
No, they're all seasonal for me.
They're all seasonal.
Yeah.
In what season are we in right now? What are your favorite?
The album that I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
I think I'm feeling the Churura song.
Churura.
Yeah. Simply because I'm thinking that should be my first single for the
That's
album
what you might put out when you.
No, not even a might. It's the song that I'm working on putting out. Yeah.
When should we expect it?
That answer will be determined after the meeting with my A&R on Sunday, but it should be a month or two from now.
Is it coming out independent or?
That's the thing, bro. It's coming out independent, but yesterday I realized that Sony is chowing 20% of my things. Like the entire time, Sony is busy chowing my stuff.
What's wrong? I think they're helping you.
They're not paying. That's the fucked up part. Where's the 80? Yeah, so I need to figure that shit out. Yeah.
Alright, bro. Big shout out. It was nice hanging out with you here today. We usually end this podcast by asking this question.
Yeah.
If you were to have a superpower, whether it's to fly, to read minds, whatever superpower you can imagine, which one would you want to have and why?
Time travel.
Time travel?
Yeah.
Why?
To unmeet, to unmake, to unfuck. Yeah. To undecide. Yeah. To fix a lot of nonsense that messed up my time. Yeah.
Alright, big shout out. So if people are trying to get you on the socials, where do they go?
Everywhere, dog. The handle is the same.
It's the same.
It's Black ZA and the score ZA.
How do they write the black? Because it's not a normal black.
I think they are watching. You'll put it here.
I don't know how to do. I don't have a design unless you're gonna help someone to do that for me. But let's just
ETZBLAQ.
Eetz Blaq.
Yeah.
Big shout out. We are signing out. This is the Desert Podcast.